Fantastic Four 2025 final runtime gets revealed, and Marvel fans don't like it. There is a reason for that we're going to touch on. And we also want to get into the box office as we are getting closer and closer to the actual opening for Fantastic Four First Steps. And of course, it is inevitably going to be compared not only to previous Marvel entries, because there have been a lot of misses lately, such as Brave New World and Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. But we also, of course, just had Superman launch, which seems to still be doing well and may have legs to get to a higher number than a lot of us were thinking. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We're going to talk about that as well. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you being here. So let's dig into this. Hey, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying it. We're just getting rolling. I think we just did our 30th video the other day, so we're up over 150 subscribers now. Thank you all for your support. Now, the runtime, surprisingly, when you think of a lot of the Marvel movies, especially peak Marvel, when you got into Infinity War and X Game and so forth, and how long those movies were, this is saying under 2 hours. Runtime at 1 hour and 56 minutes, 114 minutes. Now, why does that upset fans? Well, it could be partially because ticket prices, and you want a movie that has a little meat to it nowadays. But we also have a lot of the lowest rated entries came in at under 2 hours. So we had titles that we'll see here. The Incredible Hulk, 112 minutes. By the way, I got just as a quick aside, I liked The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. I wish they had worked that out. And Edward Norton, we have gotten Edward Norton's Hulk going forward and not the neutered one that we got with Mark Ruffalo. Thor under under 2 hours, 115. Thor: The Dark World, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Thor: Love and Thunder, The Marvels, Captain America: Brave New World, and now the Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, I had forgotten that a couple of these were actually some of the lower rated ones. I enjoyed Thor, not so much The Dark World. Although compared to the newer Marvel movies, I like Doctor Strange. But as you can see, these do have some of the lower rated movies, so people are a little concerned about that. Not that there is a cause of that, but anyway, let's get into the box office a little bit because we've got this as well. Fantastic Four box office could be bigger than Superman after first projections, and we got an update on that too that I want to talk about. But so, of course, like I said, this is what it's going to be compared to, probably even more than the most recent Marvel movies, because they're going to look at competition being the new rebooted DCU with James Gunn, and we just had their first entry into that. So will Fantastic Four be able to beat the new Superman? It's going to be interesting. DC, let's talk about here. James Gunn DCU off to a great start with Superman, already grossed 220 million worldwide. Biggest launch for a solo suit movie ever, and the first time a DC film was opened with over 100 million in the US since Wonder Woman, which was in 2017. Now, I want to point out, which is one reason I read this, no knock on Superman, but this has two lies in here, or I'll say mistakes, although I don't know if they're mistakes or lies, but anyway, they always seem to miss out on stuff like this. As I've talked about in a previous video, this Superman did not, the first weekend domestic box office, beat Man of Steel. It fell short of Man of Steel, and that was without adjusting for inflation. Adjust for inflation, and it wasn't even close. And also, by the way, it is not the first DC film with over 100 million in the US since Wonder Woman in 2017, because the Batman opened up to, guess what? I believe 132 million. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, which was more even than this Superman. So wrong on two counts there. So I don't know how much we can trust their box office predictions, but as you can see here, Fantastic Four First Steps looks to 100 million plus opening, although Box Office Pro has been wrong plenty of times, but they're talking about 100 to 125 million for the opening weekend. The last two MCU movies to introduce a more or less completely new to film lineup of characters for Shang-Chi, 75 million domestic, and Eternals, 71 million domestic. Not really good. Now, you could say for those autumn of 2021, you could say, oh, maybe there was the you know what had a little something to do with that. But here's the thing that I want to follow up with this. is we also have this, which is, I believe, this was yesterday evening. Fantastic Four First Steps ticket pre-sales are ahead of all of their Marvel films released this year, which is good because they didn't do well, but 20% behind Superman, which did again what 123 million opening weekend. So 20% behind in pre-sales ticket. Not that that is going to be an indication because people could go, opening night Thursday or go Friday, be like, hey, this is the greatest thing ever. And then people who weren't going to go as well. So word of mouth could be important for that. But that is definitely conflicting with what they're saying about the opening in terms of the numbers. So it's going to be interesting because obviously this is going to affect the Marvel universe going forward. At some point, they've got to get a hit that is a moneymaker as they try and basically reboot the MCU. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really do appreciate you watching this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve, and I'll talk to you later.